Hi there, Dr. Gary here on the road. We are dental practice brokers nationwide. And we have a new topic today, which we're in New Jersey and it's raining, so excuse the raindrops if it's not clear. Today's topic is, in a dental practice sale, buyer goes into meltdown and misses the opportunity. We'll give you details on that. Before we do that, we're now in 28 states selling dental practices nationwide. We have 10 employees, including 2 CPA accountants, marketing director, operations director, and 5 development acquisition. So we got a pretty good team here, all to serve you. We're now available every day, except Christmas and Easter, from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. every single day. Please call us. Whether you just want to chat or want a little advice, we're happy to talk to you. Now, to reach us, it's 201-663-0935, or go to our website, which is dentalpracticeguide.com, or nationwide dentalpracticebrokers.com. All the information's on there. Be more than happy to help you. So, the information you're about to hear is not for legal, legal or business advice. It is strictly entertainment, and it's also our opinion. Now, if you're thinking about selling to a DSO, please call us, because when you work with us and we pull one of the DSOs in, we pick and choose who we want. We're not employed by the DSOs. We have nothing to do with them. However, they do pay our commission most of the time. So call us. So often there is no commission to the sale of your dental practice if you're selling to a DSO, and we'll get your legal fees reimbursed upon successful closing. So that's where we are with that. So please call us. We know so much about the DSOs. We work with them on a daily basis. We know who's the great ones are, who's having financial trouble, etc. Now, when you work with us, often we can get your legal fees reimbursed upon successful closing, based on some certain criteria. But it works out quite well. I've done that a number of times. All right, so give us a call. All right, what do we have today? This just broke. We're talking less than 24 hours. Essentially, buyer of a dental practice goes into meltdown. I hear this all the time, see it all the time. And I understand. I was a dentist too. And my first practice, I was going over the details. I was finding everything wrong with the practice. I remember my dad used to tell him what was going on, and he was a pretty big businessman. 275 men worked for him 6 days a week in printing. And I tell him my situation with my dental practices, my sale that was going through, and he'd fall asleep. I guess it gets pretty boring. The message is get the deal, just get the deal on, get it through. Now, so what happened yesterday? This buyer starts whining about everything wrong with the practice. We're talking about an urban practice worth doing about $600,000, $500,000, decent numbers. And somewhat consistent over the years as far as the gross, 500, maybe 580, 540, 520, similar over the years. The buyer is finding everything wrong with the practice. The practice is too old. I have to replace everything. This is essentially a startup. The staff, who are legacy staff, they've been there for a while, is obviously going to be at the top of their salary range. Oh, the staff is at least $4 an hour more than I'm comfortable with. There is so much work I have to do on this practice. I can't even think about it. I have to completely rip everything out. And I'm listening to this and know everything she's saying is wrong. Then she says the practice is dying. It's a dying practice. There's hardly any new patients. There's no children. It's dying. I said, yes. Any other complaints? Anything else I can help with? She says, well, no, that's about it. And she says, oh, yes, I hate the color of the walls. I said, I think we could paint those a different color. I then started, after she, goes into meltdown, I could see we got a problem here, can't handle it, no problem, I understand, this is a major crisis for you. So I start getting into it, because I've done this so many times, some of the previous tapes, in support of the sale. I then say to the doctor, let me ask you, doctor made, I think it was $521,000 last year. Excuse me, I gotta get over. We got a guy on my back. It's an 80,000 pound truck. I'm not messing with this guy. I guess he's got an important date. I don't know where he's going, but get out of his way. Woo, that's a lot of weight. So, and it was a liquid tanker on top of that. Those guys are dangerous. Those are like floating bombs. So where were we? I said, can you look at the tax returns? She says, yes, I'll look at them. I said, what did he do last year? She said, well, he did 508. I said, well, in 21. What did he do in 22? The doctor repeats, well, he did 540. I said, well, does that look like a dying practice? She says, yes, but the patients are all older. There's not going to be any work to do. I said, well, look at the last 3 years. He's done over 500 every year. How could there be no work to do every year when you take over? What's going on there? Well, explain that to me. That suddenly when you walk in, there's no work to be done. She said, well, there's no young patients. I said, so what? You don't make a lot of money on young patients. The new patients have crowns that have to be redone, restorative, root canal, and so forth. So that's where your money's going to be in. I said, secondly, these are elderly people, true, but their teeth are breaking down. They need rehabilitation. That's what you're there for. Doctor was never pushing for rehab in full mouth. That's where you could be. Now he or she's starting to soften up a little bit. I said, next, look at those walls. Look at the plumbing on the floor. How much does it cost just to replace those? I know you want to gut the practice, but the layout's not bad, right? No. So he says, no, it's not too bad. I said, look at the walls. Is there anything wrong with the walls? Well, they're old. I said, we could paint them, can't we? Well, I guess we could paint them. He said, so the walls are standing. I said, look at the plumbing and the floor. He says, well, I don't know a lot about plumbing. I said, I know. Is it there? It's air, water, suction. Is it in the floor? He says, yes, it's in the floor. I said, do you think you could hook up to that? He says, well, I imagine I could hook up. The mechanic can do it. So I said, it's there already. So your walls are up, your plumbing is in. Now let's go staff. Very hard to find staff in 2023. I said, what about the staff? He says, oh, yes, they're paid $4 over the average. And I said, well, that may be a little pricey, but they're legacy staff, and they're going to be here for a while, and they're the ones that are going to support you when the other doctor's gone. You need them. And yes, $4 an hour is a little more than you'd like to pay. I hear you. But that's staff that you're going to support you, that are going to convince the patient through the treatment plan. And you have loyal staff that have been there for 20 years. So you're paying for loyal staff. That's what it is. They respond, well, maybe you're right. So you pay a little more. I said, so what? You're not going to fire them to get a kid out of high school that has no clue what they're doing, doesn't know the patients, doesn't know how to communicate. They respond, well, maybe you're right. I said, in the equipment now. Let's look at the equipment. Does the suction work? Well, yes, it works. Does the high-speed drill turn? Well, yes, it turns, they respond. I said, what about the air-water syringe? Is that working? They said, yes, but it's old equipment. I said, but was doctor making money on that equipment last year? And the year before? They said, well, yeah. I said, do you think you could tolerate the equipment for 1 year? It is decent manufacture, and it does work. Maybe for 1 year you could do it? They said, well, maybe I could do it. I said, so is it really a really bad practice? Is it really that bad that you got to rip everything out immediately because you're having meltdown problems? He said, well, maybe I don't have to tear it apart immediately. I said, good idea. Why don't you work there, get immediate income? Because if you close on Tuesday, you're working Wednesday morning. And then the doctor said, well, I don't know if the patients will transfer to me. I said, Bank of America, 2019, the failure rate was 0.25%. It was 99.75% successful. And one of the other banks did 1.2 billion in 22, had 4 or 5 failures that didn't go through. And those failures were due to mental health, drugs and alcohol, a couple other things. 5 cases out of hundreds and hundreds, thousands, 1.2 billion. So they must know something about a practice. And their success rate is very high. So if every practice, she says, well, my friends are telling me they all lost patients. I said, you're going to lose patients, but you're going to pick up new patients. She says, no, the patients are all going, big transition. I said, no, the patients will come back. They always give you one shot. And the staff will support you. So don't think you're losing. If every doctor lost all of these patients, how would the success rate be 99.75%? How would these doctors pay their bills? So this doctor found everything wrong with the practice. I found everything right. We're talking, we're negotiating. Give them a day to calm down. But they totally missed the picture. You got a doctor that's been working there for 40 years. Yes, everything's old, but you got legacy patients. They'll always give you one shot, always. Before they leave completely, if they don't like you. You keep the staff, you treat them right, open up your hours, be flexible. Don't hurt them on your anesthesia. And I think you're going to just do great. The transition is there. The records are proven. 99.75% Bank of America 2019, 19 I think it was. The records are there. Nobody fails. One of the other big banks, 1.2 billion, 5 offices just didn't, and that was due to mental health, drugs, all kinds of problems. Nobody fails. I'm telling you, you will be successful, which means the patients will all transfer to you. All right? So you got to have a little background in this business. Get on your game. Stop whining. Whiners not allowed in this club. Not for Dr. Gary Club. There's no whiners allowed. You want to work with me, you better be on your game. I don't go for whiners. And I want you to work on nights and weekends and pick up the phone and begin taking off time at work so you can focus on your dream instead of somebody else's. You got to really just get on top of things like you've never been on top of things before. All right? That's it. Got to get off my exit, off to Philly now. I think I'll pick up some of those great Philly pretzels. Stay tuned. We got a lot of new information coming out. Plus, on top of that, we have new practices coming for sale. I'm thinking about those pretzels. I can't wait. You ever have those hot Philly pretzels? Nobody has pretzels like that. Get on that. Check it out. Thanks. Bye.